Hi, this is Miss Andrea, and I'm here at EcoStation at the Children's Museum of Houston, and I'm going to do a project with you on seed dispersals. So, seed dispersals is actually an adaptation. Plants do not want to have their offspring grow right beside them because then they compete, right, for sunlight and food and water. So, they want to send their seeds off as far as they can. That's a great adaptation. And there are four common ways that seeds get dispersed. The first one is wind. Now you've seen this. Everybody's seen dandelions. In dandelions, they have that nice little feathery structure, kind of like a little helicopter. The wind comes and they get spread all over the place, right? But there are also things like, these are the seeds of sycamore tree. It's a little ball, but in the springtime, they will start to come apart, and they're very feathery. They're very, very wispy, and they get picked up by the wind and they get float away. And this is actually very, very good because I have a sycamore tree, and let me tell you, there are sycamore trees all over my neighborhood. These seeds go really far. So they do a lot of seeds because they want to make sure that at least some of the seeds will germinate, right? And so the chances are better if there's more of them out there. So they produce a lot of seeds. Then seeds also get dispersed. Some of them have the shape of like a helicopter, and so rather than floating, they kind of propel themselves through the air. They get caught up in the air and they spin. That's like maple trees and things like that will have those kind of seeds. Then you have animal dispersal. So animals will disperse seeds in different ways. I have a dog, and when I walk my dog, I always have to check to make sure he doesn't have these little stickers. They're little burrs. You know, you've probably gotten them too. You walk past, they kind of snag onto your clothes, and then the seeds get taken off somewhere else. So it's actually a very good adaptation. Then you have squirrels that pick up things like pecan trees in my yard, and all my pots a lot of times have pecan trees start growing out of them. Why? Because the squirrels hide their nuts in there and then they forget about them. So things like acorns and pecans get picked up by animals, and they get buried and forgotten, and then they germinate. You also have us, right? I know somebody who had a grandpa that liked to eat watermelon on the porch, and he would spit out the seeds on the side. And do you know that the watermelon started growing where he spit out the seeds? So we also disperse seeds, right? Then you have water. Water, a lot of plants, especially trees, will drop their seeds into the water and they will float away, so they'll float downstream and far away from the original tree, and they will start to germinate further out. Coconuts are also seeds. Coconuts are so well built that they can withstand the salt water for long periods of time. This is why you have a lot of deserted islands with coconuts, right? Because they're able to disperse their seeds very far. So we have air, water, animals. Guess what the last one is? It's crazy. Exploding, and fire. This is another way that seeds disperse. So if you have a chance, look it up on the internet, exploding seeds. It's pretty interesting. There is one tree called the sandbox tree. This is not a tree that you ever want to plant anywhere because it is dangerous to animals and dangerous to people. Not just because of its seeds, but it has lots of other things going on. But the seeds are pretty interesting. They will form a seed, kind of looks like a little bit of a pumpkin, and when it dries out, it will explode, and it will go, those seeds will shoot out at 150 miles an hour. So you can imagine how somebody would get hurt. Exploding seeds, whoever would have known? There's also squirting cucumbers, and I mean, there are some crazy exploding stuff. Sometimes it's very mild, but other times, yeah, I wouldn't be standing near that tree when it explodes its seeds. And then some seeds will not, there are certain pine trees that will not germinate. Their seed is not viable unless there's fire. And so these are trees that are found in areas where there's lots of wildfires. And so once the seed then is released, it's able to germinate. But if fires come too quickly, then it's not able to do its job. So there's all kinds of adaptations. Today I just want to talk to you a little bit, maybe do a little project on wind dispersal. So I did a little helicopter. I'll show you how to do this, but it would be cool to just gather a bunch of materials, get a fan, and then try it out. So today I'm just using scissors, paper clips, and paper, and I'm going to show you how to make a little helicopter that you can get to fly off. So I'm going to use my fan to do that. So take your paper and you fold it hot dog style, corner to corner, whoops, once, and then fold it again, hot dog style, corner to corner, and then one more time, hot dog style, corner to corner. So it should be about 1 inch wide. You're not going to need all this paper, but you can if you want to try different ones. You're only going to need the one section that has 2 folded pieces on it. So I'm going to cut that real quick. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold it, and on the part that is not, that is open, on the part that is open, maybe you want to cut this about halfway. And try to be straight about it because I'm not being straight. Okay. And then you want to just cut in a little bit, let's say about 1/3 of the way, maybe up. And you want to cut in about 1/2 inch. Now this is 1 inch long, so you're going to go halfway. And then you want to cut up at a diagonal. So you're basically cutting out a little triangle in there. When you open it up, this is what you have. Now you would like to take your scissors and you're going to cut, but not all the way to the square. You're going to cut to where the start of the triangle is. So cut right up the middle, right up to the point where the triangle starts, and you're going to fold one of these legs in one direction and the other in the opposite. So what you got is little running man. So you should have something like this: blockhead, running man, and his little feet. Now you're going to take the flap and you're going to fold it halfway in, this flap at the bottom, and halfway in the other side so they meet in the middle, kind of like some little doors. And you're going to put a paper clip on it. This is the way maple trees, they kind of make a little, we're going to put a paper clip for a weight because maple seeds have these little legs up here that help to catch the wind, but then they also have a little weight in the bottom to balance it out. So they're not floating, but they're actually fluttering. If you have a fan at home, you can do a fan. You need to have it at a pretty high setting and set your little helicopter on top of it, or you could just kind of throw it up and watch it flutter to the ground. And this is the way that some seeds are dispersed. So it's a fun little project. You can also take cotton and put cotton, kind of take it apart a bit, see what's easier to fly, just a cotton ball, or once you take it apart, and that kind of like mimics what's happening with the sycamore tree. So just a little bit of fun fact and a little project just to try out how seeds are dispersed by the wind. This is Miss Andrea. I'm signing out.